Hello, children. Are you ready for some cutting up and kikiing? Are you ready for a gay old time? Well, I hope you are, because now it's time for Hey Qween with your host, Jonny McGovern.
Hey Qween, come on and spill the tea. Hey Qween, it's just a good old-fashioned kiki. Hey Qween, we're cutting up with Jonny. Hey, 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 hey Qween.
Hello, my hell of a handsome horde, and welcome to another hip and happening episode of Wah Wah with me, your host, Wah Wah. Today's show is going to be huzzah! Our guest showed a lot of passion on some little show called RuPaul's Drag Race. She gave us the boom, cat, and we love her from the bottom of our little gay hearts. It's the wonderful Honey Davenport here today. But before she beelines on out here, there's another passionate playmate I must bring to your attention. She's my beauty with all that booty. And like the nectar of a honeybee, she's sweet, thick, and quick. It's Miss Lady Red Couture.
Hey, Qween.
Hey, Qween.
Look at you. You look nice.
Oh, please, let's not even bother to talk about this simple little shirt I have on when you are dressed as the bride from Coming to America.
Bark like a dog. Arf, arf, arf. Bark like a big dog. Arf, arf. Oh, y'all don't know the movie? Don't be like that.
Now, you and Miss Honey Davenport, our guest today, are just worked together in Black Girl Magic.
Yes, I'm so excited. We had such a good time. And honey, I look forward to doing way more with her, and we just gonna keep going.
Your girl, Miss Honey Davenport, is here today. Yeah! And she'll be with us right after this very gay break.
Yeah!
Back. Our guest today is an 18-time pageant title winner. A Ru girl, and honey, she is raw and unfiltered. It's the one and only Honey Davenport. Hey, Qween.
Hey, how's it going?
Girl, you look stunned.
Thank you, this whole thing.
Oh, I mean, the hair, the body.
The face.
Oh, I mean, and the face, of course.
Thank you.
That's right there in front. Lady Red, look at this beautiful lady we got right here.
Ooh, child, like a fresh piece of caramel. I love it.
Well, I'm on a strict diet of prep and power bottoms, so that's why I'm this thin now.
That'll do it. That will do it. So you guys, Lady Red and Honey, you guys just did Black Girl Magic together here in LA.
Yes, it was magical.
You've been having a great time doing those Black Girl Magic LA shows, Lady Red.
Baby, I'm so appreciative that they like a black girl in LA and it's magic. And they come out. That's what my biggest thing is. They come out, they support, they have a good time. Honey tore it up, honey, laid them flat. Picked them up, dropped them off, picked them up again, and then laid them flat. That's what she did.
Exactly. And you did the Black Girl Magic show at DragCon with the Vixen.
Yes, in New York.
Oh my, the lineup on that show, Kevin Aviance. I mean, there were so many queens. Tell me about that.
It was the most epic thing I've ever done in my entire life. I actually got to do Black Girl Magic in Chicago with the Vixen. And she said she wanted to bring it to New York, but didn't know how. And I was like, girl, I got New York on lock. So let mama make some calls. And so I got us a really cool space at $3 Bill. And I got us some really cool sponsorships from Drag for Fans, where I release all my content and everything from. And I was like, let's make this the biggest one ever, because Black Girl Magic is like a family reunion. So I was like, I want this to be the dopest, biggest one, especially in New York, because I've experienced quite a bit of racism there, and I wanted to make a point to my community that we were accepted, and I wanted them to feel that feeling that I felt when I did it in Chicago. So it's always an honor to do that show what the Vixen created with that is magical.
It really is. And the fact that she's like letting other queens do it in different places, like Lady Red, I just think that's how to really build a grassroots movement and have it connect and give a spotlight to so many different queens of color. It's really exciting.
Yeah, it's a really cool way to not just, I feel like we're not complaining about not having a platform anymore. We're creating it for ourselves.
Yeah.
And I like that kind of power.
Well, you've been creating a lot.
Yeah.
You've released so many songs during the last cycle of Drag Race, all leading up to Raw and Unfiltered.
Yeah, well, I always tell people I'm a recording artist who does drag, not a drag queen who makes music. And I've been making music just as long as I've been doing drag, really before it, but like really professionally, just as long as I've been doing drag professionally. So when I got the opportunity to be on RuPaul's Drag Race, I was like, I want the world to hear my sound, and like not just one of the ways I can sound, but all of the ways I can sound in every piece of me. So I just kept releasing stuff throughout as it went, and, you know, really showing the world everything it didn't even get to see about me on TV.
I mean, that's the great thing about having your stuff lined up for when the season comes out, because no matter how you place, the world's watching.
Girl, I've been lined up for this opportunity since Sahara was on their season 2.
Right.
We started getting me ready then. So I knew when this ship came in, it was not going to be about where I placed or where I wanted to win.
Right.
You know, could have used a few more episodes. But I knew it was more about getting the opportunity for that platform. And once I had that, the world was going to be whatever I wanted it to be. So it's like, I just need to go and be able to say I was on Drag Race, and then everybody will listen.
Yeah.
And they have.
What's your process when you get in the studio and you're working on music?
I change. I'm a moldable artist with everything I do. I don't commit to one direction. Like even with my makeup, like I start painting my face a different way every single time. Like the process of it, I just enjoy different ways of getting to the result because there's so many, that's what life is. There's just so many roads to get to like your ultimate destination. I want to travel on all of them. So when I'm writing music, sometimes I start with a concept or an idea and I write there. Sometimes I start with a beat and, you know, or sometimes I just start with like a sound. Like I was, when I was writing Raw and Unfiltered, I was on a toilet seat taking a dump. And
Classic.
Classic. And I was still drinking at the time, and it was like 3 o'clock in the morning. I was in my Hell's Kitchen apartment, and I was like, roll it with my click, like click, 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 picture this. You could double click my bubble butt, bitch. And I was like, that's dope. And that's just like where it started. And I was like, if you're gonna write a song while taking a dump, this is some like unfiltered shit. So yeah, I was like, this is just raw. And from that, I was like, okay, this for Raw and Unfiltered, I was like, this song, I want to really be a like weird expression of who I am, like show the different sides of me without being like, this is me, but like in like a way that I would communicate who I am without writing a monologue about myself. So. Yeah.
How was it getting in the studio with Evie Oddly?
That was really incredible. Okay, so Evie and I are like real good friends. And when we were filming the promos, by the time we got to filming promos, I had like 3 or 4 songs written already for the season. Like I knew where I was going to go. I had written songs based on themes of runways and experiences of leading up to the season and everything. And I had put out fillers to all of my sisters, like literally every single one of my sisters, and I was like, hey, which one of y'all wants to be featured in my music? And Evie was the only one who like seriously replied. And I was like, and she's the winner, so that's dope.
Right?
And she was gonna be hosting a viewing party in New York. And I was like, dope, girl, if you can go into the studio in New York, make your part of the song, and then you can find a green screen anywhere where you can make a music video. I was like, I don't care if you film this on the iPhone, we'll like make it magic. And that's what we did. Like, so we wrote the song via like FaceTime with each other. And then, you know, we recorded our own pieces. It was really, really dope.
Fun. That is the perfect, like, who wants to do it? Oh, the winner? Fantastic.
Right.
Lady Red, when you win, that's what you're going to have to do.
Yes, when I win, I'm gonna send out feelers to all the girls and make them record all of their stuff separately on all green screens and pliable things that look great.
How have you been adjusting to a much bigger spotlight than ever this year?
It doesn't feel any different. It's really, really odd because I notice at little times like, oh, my life has completely changed. You know, like when I'm in Dwayne Reed and buying an enema and like the cashier is like, oh, you're Honey Davenport. And I'm like, now I'm embarrassed randomly. But for the most part, like I am just as gagged as everybody else is that I became something. Like, you know, if I'm on the subway and somebody's like, oh, it's you. And I'm like, what do you mean it's me? Like, who the fuck am I? Like, yeah, it's the thing that is noticeably different for me is that before, you know, I'm not from much. I was raised in West Philly by my mom, by herself, and there just weren't many financial opportunities for me. And I've always had like really grand dreams of creating spectacular art, and I was never able to afford it. Like money was always an issue for me. And now, because of this platform, it's opened up so many doorways for me to be able to create whatever the fuck I want to create. And like, I'm like, I want to make a choose your own adventure porno music video for Raw and Unfiltered. And I just made one.
Yes.
Yes.
That is a lot of things to line up in one video.
It's one of a kind. It's the first ever. It's basically loosely based off the Odyssey, and I play like a Circe-esque character in it, and I'm like leading men out of the ocean into my sex castle. And when I'm touring through it, you can click on different rooms and different boys to see their sex scenes. And I'm releasing it all through Drag for Fans, which is a uncensored platform for drag queens, sort of like Patreon, but specifically for drag-related content.
Love it.
Yeah.
Well, now it's going to be time for us to learn a little more about you and how you became the queen you are today.
Oh, all right.
But first, I just want to remind everybody to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at Hey Qween TV for all the latest Hey Qween faggotry. Okay, honey, grab my hand because we're going back in the time machine. Whoa! Oh, honey, look where we are. We're in the Philadelphia Projects.
Oh, that's real.
Yeah. So that's where you grew up, right?
Yeah.
Tell me about Little Honey.
Just a very, very strange kid. I didn't have a whole bunch of friends. My mom was recently in New York seeing my show, and she, of course, decided to tell stories about me as a child. And,
Ooh.
Right, and she always brings up this one called the Me Club. I started this club when I was younger because I didn't have very many friends, and it was called the Me Club. And I came home one day, I was like, Mom, I started a new club. It's called the Me Club. And she's like, oh, what do you do in this club? I was like, you know, we color and we dance and we like do stuff. And she's like, oh, who's all in this club? And I was like, me. But I've always been, always have been like unafraid to be who I am, even though it was a little strange and different. Like I've always just been like, no, this is what I do. So very Little Honey was this like awkward kid with a very high-pitched voice. In fact, in elementary school, they used to call me Elmo because it was annoyingly high.
Wow.
Right, and I was like, I didn't have a growth spurt until 11th grade, so I was extremely tiny, even tinier than this.
Snatched.
And just like a little awkward, but like unafraid to be. Always unafraid.
Now, that's a pretty rough situation for a little creative flower to grow up in. And I know you lost people to gun violence during that whole time of your life.
Yeah. I mean, there are two ways really to make it out of West Philly, and that was like either the military or drugs. You know, like that's how most of my friends and family made a difference for their lives. And I was in ROTC for 4 years, and I was like, I love a man in uniform, but I don't want to do this shit.
Right. What year were you in JROTC?
Oh gosh, I was in JROTC from, I graduated high school in, so 4 years, 1999 to like 2003.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, you're there with the Me Club and you're singing songs and stories, and then you get thrown into ROTC. What's that like?
It was dope. I became squadron commander. I was commander of my rifle team. I took
Wow.
us to nationals twice, mostly because twirling rifles, that's just all faggotry. It was really cool. I would put together these like shows, and I was raised in a time where it's really like a gap between where we are now with how people who are part of an LGBT community are raised growing up, and where we are like when it was really bad. I was like right in the middle. It's different now. Like you can be a gay kid, and that's like, you know, in some places okay.
Yeah.
It wasn't okay at all before my generation. Like it was just starting to be. So I'm like one of the first gays who was like able to be like, yes, I'm fierce, whatever. So I was just like the gay kid in ROTC, like whatever.
Right, you had taken up boxing during that time too?
Yeah.
So you could kick some ass if you needed to.
Oh, absolutely. I'm from the hood. So you don't get out of the hood and not know how to fight. I can throw these things, yo.
Hey Queens, thanks for watching. For part 2 of this interview, click here. For more Hey Queen fabulousness, click here. And of course, don't forget to subscribe.